the lead members of President Trump's legal team, our friend Jenna Ellis. Jenna, welcome back to the program.
Great to see you, Grant, and it's a great night to be with you. And I have some breaking news for you on the legal fight, and that is that the Pennsylvania legislature in both the House and the Senate have issued a statement saying that they are going to introduce resolutions in the House and the Senate to take back their Article 2, Section 1.2 constitutionally delegated authority and take back from these corrupt election officials the right to be able to put forward their delegates in Pennsylvania in the manner that the legislature authorizes. And so this is a huge thing that came out of the hearing where they heard all of the evidence that we had of corruption. They heard from these witnesses. They heard what more we have. And so the Pennsylvania state legislature is moving on this, and we are very, very proud of their courage.
All right, so they say they can do this with a joint resolution because one of the, at least challenges in Pennsylvania, you got a Democratic governor there who could stop a law passed. They say they can do it with a joint resolution. My guess is that's going to end up in a legal case as well. How do you see this playing out?
Right. So under the Constitution, in Article 2, Section 1.2, the governor is not mentioned, nor is any other elected official. The sole power to determine the manner in which the Electoral College delegates are appointed is vested solely with the state legislature. So these resolutions do not need to be approved by the governor. He has nothing to do with it. This is all about the state legislature. And that's why the state legislature is moving on these resolutions. And they'll be moving very quickly. And this is why, for all of the people out there making fun of these hearings, this was the opportunity when we first went to court that we asked for, is to be able to present an evidentiary hearing so that the judicial branch could tell the legislature to do their job. We're very grateful that the Pennsylvania state legislature doesn't need a court order to do their job. They're doing it by themselves, and they're doing it under their constitutionally delegated authority. They're moving on this, and this is exactly what the provision of the Constitution provides for, and this is exactly what it was intended to do, is to make sure that corruption in elections does not get through without oversight of the legislature. So they are not going to allow this corruption to continue.
All right, so we are going to have State Senator Mastriano on just after you in the next block, so we can ask him really about the legitimacy of making sure we get Republican leadership on board with this, as well as Republicans in the Senate and the House to make sure this happens. Now, you can't just win with Pennsylvania. What are the plans for the other states? I know you're headed to Arizona on Monday for more hearings there. Can you lay out that path for us, Jenna?
Yeah, so we're hopeful that Arizona will follow the same path that Pennsylvania has now spearheaded by going first and by seeing that there is substantial and more than enough evidence to show that this election was irredeemably compromised. And so in Arizona, both the mayor and myself will go to this hearing where legislators in Arizona are going to hear from witnesses in that state talking about the election official fraud that occurred in Arizona. And we're hopeful that they will take the same course of action that the Pennsylvania state legislature is now doing, and that they will also reclaim their state legislative authority and take back their opportunity and their mandate and their obligation under the Constitution to select their Electoral College delegates based on the actual election results, counting every legal vote, not based on the corruption and the fraud that occurred. So we're hopeful that these states will follow the same course of action, and we will actually get to a legitimate outcome of this presidential election.
All right, so I would tell people, if you live in Pennsylvania, if you live in Arizona, you got to get on the horn. You got to be calling your state representative, your state senators to get on board with this plan. Lastly, Jenna, we're all in the hunt for evidence. One of my concerns is this is a civil case. It's not like you are the FBI and can issue a search warrant and go in and start searching for evidence. How is that quest going for evidence? I know you got plenty of sworn affidavits, but how's that battle going to collect more of it?
Yeah, well, of course, we're getting reports from people daily, and, let's remember that this is all about election official fraud. This is about ignoring the state legislature's rules for the manner in which this election was supposed to have occurred. And so we have governors that ignored the rules, we have secretaries of state that ignored the rules, we have election officials on the ground that ignored the rules in all of these 6 states. And so the sworn affidavits the evidence that we have, that is more than enough. We don't actually need a court order for anything else. Now, we're still, of course, pursuing all of that, but that would just be the icing on the cake. We already have substantial evidence to prove that there was fraud sufficient to undermine the results of this election, and that's what we want to prevent. We've done this on a very short time frame, and I'm very proud of all of the efforts of the Trump legal team, as well as the courage of these state legislators.
Well, we appreciate you for having the courage to stand up for this. I know there's a lot of people trying to take clients away from lawyers working on this case. There's all kinds of death threats going on out there, so it takes guts. We appreciate you standing up for America. Jenna Ellis, give the whole team a thumbs up for us. Godspeed as you move through this process, and thanks for coming on and breaking some news for us tonight.
Thanks. We're really grateful for President Trump for leading that charge to protect and preserve our American freedom. Thank you.
Yep.